You've talked so much about the heart. So I want to ask, how do you lead from the heart? How to lead from the heart?
Well, it has to start with the heart of servanthood. You have the heart of service. You have to be willing to serve other people. Very critical to leadership. You can't go to leadership with an agenda. You have to be selfless. You have to put other people's interests before your own. You can't think of what you're going to gain from that position of leadership. You already messed up your leadership. You have to add value to other people's lives. Say to yourself, I always tell people, I said, and that's the reason I'm running this blog and running this program, is because I want to put something and add value to people's lives. It's costing me so much time, it's costing me so much of my inconvenience, and of course that of my team, including that of speed, because we have a lot. But you see, leadership is adding value to the lives of other people. So we want to contribute to your success, and our joy on this program is to make you succeed. So I hope you're going to use this thing you're seeing right now. And that is important for you to show affection to other people.
Wow.
And learn to accept them with their mistakes.
Wow.
Sometimes we want to change people, but really, we change them faster if we accept them first.
Wow.
Once people know that you accept them, you're not negatively critical of them, and that you are willing to help them, they will be willing to do whatever it is you want them to do.
Wow.
And change is achieved faster when we love people and we accept them.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not just saying the things that he thinks. This is actually our experience with Pastor Toks. For those of us who work very closely with him, I mean, the affection, the accepting people the way they are. And these are real things, you know, real things. And it brings me to my next question to you. What happens when a leader doesn't lead from his heart? I actually have two questions, but I want you to take that part first. What happens if, you know, I am a leader and I'm not leading from my heart?
Well, when someone claims to be a leader and is not leading from his heart, it's actually a time bomb waiting to explode.
Wow.
Well, because whatever it is he's tried to build or he thinks he's built will just explode, and by the time he looks back, he says, I don't want to follow him. And leadership is about influence. Leadership is about, okay, when you're on the scene, you impact and influence people, and when you've left the scene, you see that your legacy continues. And so when someone doesn't lead with their heart, okay, he doesn't have anything to fall back on, because all his work is destroyed. Because people see this thing, because people matter. And people know when they know that they matter to you. So you can't hide that from people, okay? So it has to boil down to how we treat people in the final analysis, okay? The people we are leading, how do we treat them, okay? What are our actions towards them, okay? Some people are called movers and shakers, but they're heartless.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time, you see that either they get assassinated or they get boardroom politics, they get swept away from whatever, and their legacy is totally eroded. Because they are real movers and shakers, but they are only skillful. They have no heart.
In fact, sir, you've more or less answered, because I wanted to ask the second question. I wanted to say, how can okay, I'm a follower now. How do I recognize that this guy, he may be skillful, you know, he may be knowledgeable, but he has no heart for me. He's not a leader who loves from the heart. But you basically just, you know, answered those questions even before I was done with it.
I'm not done with you yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Some people, they just see that whatever it is they do is for the benefit of themselves.
Wow.
And their cronies.
They're selfish.
As a matter of fact, one of the big problems in leadership is cronyism. People just put things together and put their own plan together and their own people together, okay? And they flock together, okay, for the benefit of themselves. Either of their ideology or benefit of their clan or ethnic group or whatever. Big problem. And then there are also leaders who will give everyone instruction and put people under so much task, and they will not commit an ounce of energy, of their own energy to the task. Okay? They'll be sipping coffee. I know a couple of people who just be sipping coffee and getting people to be. They are called slave drivers.
Wow.
So a slave driver, every time you say slave driver, that's not a leader. Because one of these days, there's going to be a big revolution that will sweep him away.
Yes.
All right. So leaders need to know that. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, on the flip side, okay, when a leader creates, okay, leads with a heart, he creates a masterpiece everywhere he goes. So it's not all bad. There are people who are leading with a heart, and everywhere they go, you see the impact of your leadership. Okay. Because people emerge from their leadership and they take on their legacies.
Okay, you've talked about this. You know, at the crux of the matter, at the center of everything you've said today, is the heart of a leader.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you my next question, and it has to do with loving the people. How important is it for a leader to love those that he leads. And I need to add a B to it. Is it possible? Because sometimes the people you lead may be difficult. Is it possible to also love the people that you lead?
Well, I always take a cue from the best leader that ever lived. Not Mandela,
Yeah.
not Churchill, Mr. Churchill, not Abraham Lincoln, not Tokunbo Johnson. Jesus the Christ himself.
Yeah.
For him, people always matter. As a matter of fact, an instance was recorded in the book of John's Gospel, chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. And I want to read it. And this is what it says. It says it was just before the Passover. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. And having loved his own who were in the world, he now showed them the full extent of his love.
Wow.
So you recognize that you cannot lead people without really loving them. And love brings out the best
The very best.
out of people.
Wow.
For God so loved the world,
Yes.
that
Word.
he sacrificed himself for them.
Yes.
So you see the heart of service, you see the heart of sacrifice from the foremost leader himself.
Yes.
Okay? And no one who wants to take on leadership can go an alternative way. You have to lead just the way God leads. So leading the people, loving the people God asks you to lead is actually the most significant, the most important thing that you do as a leader.
Wow.
Once people know that you love them, it's fine. They will die for you. They will die following you. And when we love people, it just shows that we have God in our heart.
Yeah.
Because God is love.
Yeah.
So any organization that is built, some organizations are built on acrimony and variance and what people call, some leaders just shred their followers.
Yeah.
And just make them feel like they are worth nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now people see these things. Today they are struggling, but tomorrow they're going to be the next leaders. I had a meeting with one of my uncles, okay, a couple of days back, and I said to him, "Uncle, do you remember those days, 30 years back, when you used to carry us all over the place and do stuff? Uncle, we are the leaders now."
Yeah.
You know, and he said, BeulahToks. It's very true. You guys are the ones we are handing over to right now.
That's right.
So now I'm going to be playing back in my mind. How did he exhibit his leadership over me? Because as the one who has influence, as my uncle, how did he do that? Did he model love? Was it there for me? Okay, and I'm going to be judging him based on what he did.
Based on that, yes.
So every leader will be judged based on what they did to the people they are leading or they led
Yeah.
at one point in time or the other.
Or the other, yeah.
It's important for leaders to recognize this.